Hi, it's update about Russian war against Ukraine, day 14th. So the event of the day is situation in Mariupol. This is a seaport at the southeast of Ukraine. That seaport is under Russian aggression and Russian attack for seventh day already. For the entire week, I personally didn't have any connection with people there. Mariupol is not a foreign city to me. I spent 2 years of my life there, and I tried to reach people via different channels, via internet, cellular network, regular wired telephone. Just doesn't work. People just unreachable until today, when some of my friends actually managed to come online. They found a place in the city where you can catch a network of Ukrainian cell operator and make a call. They reported that the situation in the city is a total disaster, that there are corpses lying outside, city doesn't have any ability to collect them, that people actually make food on fire, and they boil water from the sea and drink it because there is just no other means of getting water. It is absolute disaster. Russia turns Mariupol in another Aleppo or in Stalingrad, whoever, it doesn't really matter, because the point is that they just demolish city, and today they throw in a huge aviation bomb in the city center, just hitting a central hospital. The bomb dropped in the yard between two departments of the hospital. One was intensive care for children and another was maternity hospital. We don't know how many people died yet. It's happened just a couple of hours ago. And it is just something so unhuman that I can hardly find the word to describe it. It is definitely a war crime, and the world should look very close at Mariupol and at what Russians did there. So the word of the day is escape. Many Ukrainians actually try to find their way from the war and try to escape the hotspots. There are evacuations from Kiev outskirts, where Russian troops are already, like Vorzel, Irpin, Bucha. And there are escapes from big cities which Russians already want to encircle, like Sumy. And people use any opportunity to escape. They just use regular buses, vans, their own cars, stand in a row and go. It is a hard thing to do because, when you have such situations, so many people, someone runs out of fuel, someone's car gets broken, the convoy doesn't move pretty fast. And actually, this is very hard and exhausting procedure for anyone who is involved. So the issue I would like to talk about today is also the problem of prisoners of war. Ukraine captures many Russian soldiers. We actually captured more than 600 people, and by now we killed up to 12,000 Russian soldiers. Russia doesn't acknowledge their losses. They say that they just lost something like 600, and they just say that, we're not there, when it is not true. Ukrainian soil is full of dead Russians, and they just don't collect their corpses. They don't acknowledge that their men are fighting here, and it goes against any traditions of war and war laws. And Russia should be persuaded. They must acknowledge that their people are here, that they die here, and they die for nothing. People in the West say that Ukraine breaks some Geneva conventions. I've read already a couple of columns in the Washington Post how how horrible Ukraine behaves. I was very much excited, to read such columns from people who had Guantanamo, or for people and from people who just don't make the key points. They say that we shouldn't take Russian prisoners on public. We do take them on public. We do have press conferences of Russian prisoners of war every day, because we want Russia to acknowledge that they have losses. We want Russia to acknowledge that the thing that their soldiers tell us is true, because the soldiers tell us that they were sent, some of them were sent, they didn't know that they were sent to Ukraine. They thought that they take part in some military exercise. The other part knew that they actually were sent to Ukraine, and their chiefs explained it to them with the words that you go there to liberate Ukraine from the fascists, and that civilians would welcome you, and it will be just an easy ride for 2 or 3 days, and that's it. And of course, they were when they met the resistance, they were literally shocked. And most people whom Ukraine captures as prisoners of war are those who just lost their crews, their commands, and tried to make their way through the forests and were captured by the locals. Everyone has smartphone nowadays. The locals, of course, were not very welcoming to the people who were just shooting at their houses. And the key thing now is to make Russia to acknowledge that these are their soldiers. As for Ukraine, Ukraine has infrastructure to investigate the crimes of war. We have a special department in General Prosecutor's Office, because we've been investigating war crimes since 2014. So we have special departments and people who know how to do it. The thing is that we don't have enough people to cope with such huge amount of prisoners of war, especially in the events when all West diplomats just flew away, ran away, all international organizations just ran away and left us with ourselves. Our police joined military to fight, and our medical experts just cannot cope with Ukrainian losses in the first place. So it is now extremely important to chase Russia, to make them to acknowledge that there is a problem, that they have huge losses, because this would help to bring to Russian public opinion the basic idea that they have a huge war, because Russian television says that it's nothing happened, it's just an easy ride, and that Russians been moving forward, and soon we will take not just Ukraine, we will take Warsaw. So they're extremely optimistic. If you watch Russian propaganda, it's like I don't know, it's some other, not planet, it's some different universe with different laws of physics. So please follow the stories from Ukraine. As more days pass by, the interest of public usually decreases. And the news, they just become not so interesting to people. And the key things now is just please don't lose interest in this war. Please follow the news. It is not the end, it's far from the end, and we will all have to do something in order to stop this war. And we have to think about it, about the ways to do so. Thank you.